Hey, what's going on everyone? Nick Boletto here, back with another video. In today's video, we're going to be covering the first video in the series of the foundations of strength training, starting with principle number 1, and that is the principle of specificity. So the principle of specificity essentially just states that to get better at any one thing, you need to do more of that thing. So if you are trying to build your arms, you need to train your arms with more volume and more frequency. If you're trying to get a bigger squat, you need to squat more often and squat more. Whatever you do is what you will get better at. I'm sure some of you guys watching this video are familiar with the 10x rule, which essentially says that to become an expert at any given one thing, you have to do that thing for at least 10,000 hours. And that has actually since been proven to be a little questionable whether or not that's actually valid. However, it makes a good point in that doing a certain thing is going to get you closer and closer to mastery. Hence the principle of specificity. So doing any one particular thing that you want to get better at is going to lead you to get better at that thing over time. A great example of this is the Bulgarian weightlifting team and their Bulgarian Method. Although they certainly didn't call it that, we have now grown to call any kind of super high frequency routine the Bulgarian Method. So the Bulgarian Method of squatting was basically the team would come in and max out their squat 4 to 8 times per day. So they were well known to max out their squats 25 to 40 times a week, and in very little time they were able to put a lot on their 1 rep max squats. So that is just the principle of specificity in action. It was not uncommon to see weightlifters come in and add 50 or 60 kilos, so 100 to 150 pounds to their squats in the first month or two, which is absolutely insane progress. And besides this program being extremely challenging, which we'll talk about in future videos, the reason that this program worked more than anything else was that it was extremely specific. They wanted to get stronger legs for weightlifting, and they wanted to have stronger and stronger 1 rep max squats. So what better way to get better at hitting a 1 rep max than to practice it literally multiple times per day? The specificity of strength works the other way as well. So if you don't use something, you'll lose it. A great example of this is I was talking to this guy at my gym the other day, and he said that his chest had gotten weaker because he was doing pause bench. And I asked him what led him to believe that. And he said that his touch and go bench had gone down. And I then asked him, well, did your pause bench get stronger during that time? And he said that it did. So I can basically guarantee you that his chest didn't get smaller, his chest didn't get weaker, he just got better at pause bench, and as a result of not doing touch and go bench, he got worse at touch and go bench. And while those variations are basically as similar as you could possibly get, they are still different. There's a different rhythm to the leg drive, there's a slightly different bar path, everything is just a little bit different of a rhythm. So if you're not doing touch and go bench and you're only doing pause bench and your pause bench gets stronger, that just is an example of the specificity of strength. So what you do is what you get better at. However, it's important to understand that specificity alone is not going to be enough. So the Bulgarian weightlifting team was well known to put 50 or 60 kilos on their squats in a couple of months. However, they were also well known to not put any weight on their squats over the next couple of years. So specificity alone is not enough to drive strength gains after a certain period of time. At that point, you have to introduce some of the other principles that we will talk about in future videos. However, we do see that they gain insane amounts of strength in very little time just by being extremely specific. And for that reason, specificity is the number 1 principle of strength training. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I hope you found it informative and helpful, and I hope that you are looking forward to the next video in the Foundations of Strength Training Principles video series, and I look forward to seeing you guys in that next video.